Hey guys, Donovan Questenberry here. Today I wanted to talk about competitive advantage. What is competitive advantage? How to leverage your competitive advantage to grow your business or start a business. So, first thing about competitive advantage you need to know is that everyone has it, okay? That is why it is extremely dangerous to just listen to one person and follow their advice blindly, okay? The reason why I say that is that one person may have a different competitive advantage than you do. So the advice that they are giving you has worked for them according to their competitive advantage. So typical competitive advantage that a lot of folks think about is price, experience, location, resource. So price is pretty obvious. If you have a lower price, if you can do the work for cheaper, then that gives you a competitive advantage. You see folks out there, and that's sort of like the go-to one. Hey, I'll do this for cheap. We do concrete cheap. $99 power washing. $100 fertilizer and overseed and aeration. That right there is sort of like what everybody thinks is the starting out, what you have to do to get a competitive advantage is just be cheap. It does work, and I will say this. If you're in a market where everything is extremely high priced, you can do work quickly and have a competitive advantage by charging a little bit less. So that is definitely something to consider according to your market analysis and what your competitors are doing. All right? Resource, let's get into that. I'm an established business and I have thousands of clients in different cities.
In 2 miles, take exit 1C toward Jones Franklin Road.
In different parts of North Carolina. So my client list is a resource. That gives me a competitive advantage. Let's say you are starting a landscaping business and I'm starting a landscaping business. Well, you're starting out from scratch. You might have better pricing, you might have more experience, but I have 6,000 clients and I can send an email out to them and say, hey, we're offering monthly yard landscape service, and chances are I'm going to get to a full client schedule. Let's call it 60 clients. If I got 6,000 people, there's a pretty good chance that 1% will want to have lawn service done. Boom, I just got 60 clients like this, $300 a month, 12 months out of the year. That's right at $200,000, I believe, if my math is right. 180, 190, somewhere in there. So I can get to 200 grand tomorrow, well, not tomorrow, in a week or two after working my client list, and that gives me a competitive advantage over you. No matter what you're spending on Google ads or whatever, I can probably get that done quicker, and I can probably, and also I have an established relationship with those clients. That gives me a competitive advantage. So resource, that's a big one. Experience, there you go. If we're gonna compete head to head in gutter cleaning, I have a crew that does 10, 15, 20 jobs a day. Those guys, and they've been doing it for years, those guys have just about all the experience that anyone would ever need cleaning gutters. And we can do the job probably better. We can probably do it faster. And because of that experience, I can charge more, or I can stack up my competitive advantage. I can come in a little bit less because we can do it faster, and I can have 2 competitive advantages over top of you. Okay?
Take exit
I forget what the fourth one that I said, but you're sort of getting the point. And what I would suggest is just do your market research, find out what your competitive advantage is, and make sure that you market according to that. Make sure that your target client is receptive to your competitive advantage. If my competitive advantage is just being cheap, and I go to these multi-million-dollar houses, and I'm saying, hey, I'm going to do this work the cheapest, I'm probably not going to get hired, okay? Because somebody who has multi-millions of dollars doesn't want the liability of having a cheap service provider out there who's maybe not insured, who will maybe get hurt, who will maybe cause damage to their house. So think about who your target client is. think about what your competitive advantage is, think about what your competitors' competitive advantage is, and find a gap in the marketplace, find your niche, stick to it, own that space, and then step 2, get a second competitive advantage. Stack them up, and the first competitive advantage will help you grow the business. Your second and third competitive advantage is going to help you dominate that space. Don't get complacent, don't get stagnant, and just rock it out. Try to own that space. I'm going to make another video about how you can leverage your competitive advantage to network. Okay, so how you can team up with another business that has a similar, or you fit different market needs in the marketplace with your competitive advantages. So I'm going to make a video on that and give you an example of how I'm doing that right now. So stay tuned. If this video helped you, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. And what we're trying to do on this page is help people in the service-based industry start or add on a service-based business and grow to 100 grand their first year in business. So do me a favor, leave a comment with the industry that you're in, and according to this video, what is your competitive advantage and how have you leveraged that? That'll help me out, and that'll help out the folks who are watching this video. So take care. Remember to subscribe, remember to share, remember to leave a comment. We'll talk to you guys soon.